Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss serious matters, for once. Now, we always talk about serious matters, but today they're going to be more serious than ever. We're going to talk about the hardships of life. And I'm not just referring to, I'm not referring to minor incidents or small bad things that happen to us on a daily basis, such as, oh, we've missed the train, or oh, my coffee's got cold before I managed to drink it, or oh, I'm just having like a rough day and I don't feel like doing stuff. No, I'm talking about long periods of time or basically um, phases in one's lifetime when you just feel overwhelmed or depressed or so stressed that it feels like you're gonna break down every second now. You keep on asking yourself, why is this happening to me? Why do I have to go through this? Is this ever going to end? Because ultimately, that's the question. I mean, we can all handle bad stuff better if we know that they are not going to last forever. But when things last for longer than, let's say, I don't know, a few days, a week, a month, we've all got our own threshold and we just feel like we can't do this anymore. What is wrong with our lives? So let's talk about one planet in particular that is responsible for these phases in our lives. It's Saturn, yay! The Grim Reaper, the Taskmaster, the Great Malefic, as ancient astrologers and some modern astrologers still call it. A bit of background info on Saturn. So, Saturn is the planet that rules Capricorn. It's responsible with, well, first of all, it's super responsible, I'm gonna tell you that. Secondly, what does it do? Why do people call it the Great Malefic? They call it the Great Malefic because it usually brings obstacles along the way. It brings challenges in one's life, tests. It makes things hard. And we don't like it. Of course we don't. We would like to be happy-go-lucky and just go through life wearing rosy glasses and enjoying it. But as we all know, that's not gonna happen. End of story. So, Saturn, first of all, it rules Capricorn, like I said, and this is probably going to explain why Capricorns sometimes they feel like not sad people, but it just when you look at a Capricorn, they sometimes give you the impression, or most of the times they give you the impression that they are under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. And it's no wonder that they are under a lot of pressure because they are ruled by Saturn, and Saturn keeps on bringing obstacles in their way and making things not so easy for them, and it basically brings a lot of work in their lives. Work. Saturn also rules work and authority and bosses in general, and it's the planet that gives everything structure. It imposes limits. Saturn is the law, and like I said, the taskmaster that tells you how you need to do things, and you can't do it any other way, and you should not go off the beaten path, and you should respect the status quo and respect the structure and obey your superiors, and just make sure that everything goes well as long as everyone's doing their job, aka working. So Saturn is in no way flimsy. It's in no way optimistic at all. Saturn is a lot about hard work. What are challenges? They basically make us work harder for whatever it is that we want to achieve or for wherever it is that we want to go. So now that we've established what Saturn does in our life, let's see how Saturn affects each and every one of our lives in a different way. So, as you probably know, we've all got our unique birth charts. So, at birth, the planets were placed in a certain position, and that represents your natal birth chart. By the way, I'm gonna leave a link down below so that you can go online and put in your date of birth, time of birth, and place of birth to find out what your birth chart looks like. Obviously, Saturn is one of the major planets that will affect our lives, and at birth, it's placed in a certain sign and in a certain house. So, the houses in your birth chart, there's 12 of them. Wherever Saturn falls, that house is going to be an area of great challenges and great tests, and whatever that house represents for you. So let's say Saturn falls in your third house, you are going to have a hard time achieving things that are related to that house. So since I've mentioned the third house, let's talk a bit about the challenges that Saturn placed there might bring. The third house rules communications, day-to-day communications, day-to-day learnings, transportation, and siblings. So first of all, Saturn can bring difficulties in communicating with others, in expressing your ideas, in learning apparently minor things that just don't make sense for you. It's too hard. You're having a hard time wrapping your head around them. People who've got Saturn in their third house could be considered introverts, but for all the wrong reasons, because they might not be introverts at all. It's just that they can't express what they feel in a manner that satisfies themselves. So it's not that other people don't get them, or it's not that other people don't understand what it is that they're trying to say, but it may be, for instance, that they are so worried about what they're going to say and the way they are going to say it that they end up not saying it at all. Saturn makes us worry about the area in our chart where it falls. And this is, well, obviously at first sight it's a bad thing, and it makes our lives hard, and it makes us pull back and not do that thing at all. But actually, that's wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. Saturn's not that bad after all. You know when you really worry about a thing and you're very anxious about it, and you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and you really want to be satisfied with the way you do it? Well, Saturn pushes you to achieve your higher potential. So Saturn brings a streak of perfectionism in the area where it falls in your birth chart. In general, the houses that are touched by Saturn, although in childhood or throughout our teenage years or even in young adulthood, we feel the most insecure about, we end up focusing on them, working hard towards making those houses work and those fields of our life and those parts of our life work, that after, let's say 40, 45, 50, you become an expert at them. So the taskmaster has managed to teach you a lesson. So it's all not so bad. After all, I know this might not make things very easy for you right now, and you're going to say, what do I care about what's going to happen in 10 years' time? Well, you should, because on the bright side, because there is a bright side even to Saturn, when you learn the lesson that Saturn wants to teach you, Saturn will bring you a gift. It will reward you. It will make you so good at that area that you were insecure about, that you are going to be an expert and you are going to teach others in turn. So that's it with Saturn in your birth chart. I'm going to go quickly through the Saturn return. What does that mean? So as I said, Saturn falls in a certain house, in a certain sign when you were born, and the Saturn that's transiting, as in the planet now in the sky, it takes 28 years for it to go full circle, to go full cycle through your birth chart and come back to the exact same place, as in degree, in your birth chart. So that's what's called your Saturn return. So between the ages of 28 and 30 years of age, Saturn returns to its natal position. What does that mean for your life? Well, for those of you who are fast approaching that age, it's not going to be easy, I have to tell you this. So Saturn is going to bring structure in your life. Saturn is going to show you that life is not as easy as you thought. It's got a lesson to teach you. It will bring a great challenge for you, but it will also stabilize things in a certain area of your life. I know people, well, quite a few actually, who during a Saturn return, they lost their job. I'm not saying that that's necessarily what's going to happen for you. You might not have any issues with your job at all, but it's worth paying attention at what house your natal Saturn is placed in, and that's going to give you an indication as to what area of your life is going to be affected by this restructuring process that Saturn is responsible with. Life is gonna get harder in that area. You might have to work harder, you might have to put up with things that you've never had to put up with before, and you're gonna feel pressure, and you're gonna feel a lot of pressure. The good thing is that most of the times, this pressure is mostly in our heads. So once you acknowledge that, you can be like, fine, I know this is not as bad as it looks, this is not as bad as it sounds, I've got this. You have to find inner resources that you haven't used before and make your life good again and work again. And good news. The good news is, after 2 years' time, after Saturn has exited the house that it was placed in when you were born, it will also reward you if you've learned your lesson and if you have brought structure in your life and if you've basically grown up. So the first Saturn return, because through our lives we go through 2 or 3 if we're lucky and we live for like 100 years. Well, not really, less than that, but I'm just exaggerating. Saturn is gonna reward you for growing up in a certain area of your life. And that's it, my friends. So say goodbye to Peter Pan for me. And remember, not even the darkest periods of your life are gonna last forever. Everything has an expiration date, even an evil Saturn transit, which is not that evil after all. Maybe you're just like lagging behind in some area of your life. I don't know, I'm just saying. Let me know if you've gone through a Saturn return. Let me know what type of test Saturn brings in your life in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you've liked this video. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!